All right, welcome to the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma. Tonight we're blessed to have an author. What else? There's so much that she is involved with. An author and a book writer. I mean, a mother, a wife, a cosmetologist, hairstylist. Can we go on and on and on about this woman named Vandra Noel? Give it up. All right, tonight we have our co-host, Kimberly. And we have Linda, which I call Lindy. And our special guest is Vandra Noel. So tonight we're going to start with our favorite scripture. It's Philippians 1:6. Being confident of this very thing, that he which has begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. And we're going to find out tonight the work that Miss Vandra has been doing, is going to be doing, and going to continue to be doing, because she is such an exciting young woman of God. Our motivational saying is, life is a change. Growth is an optional. Okay? So tonight we want to know about you, Miss Noel. Or are you a pastor? Are you a minister? Or what?
I'm a minister.
Okay, you're a minister. Yes. I don't want to give you a title that you do not want right now. Yes. That is a title you don't want, okay?
Thank you.
All right. So we have minister with us tonight, and we're going to get all into her business. We want to know about Vandra. Woman, Miss V in the house. So we want to know about Queen V tonight. So how did you get started in your ministry?
Well, I've been a minister now about 9 years.
Ooh, that's a good number.
I was at a church prior to where I am now.
Okay.
And now I am at Relevant Worship Center. Okay. Formerly Ambassadors Today with Dr. Regina Spellman. And but when I first started in ministry, I was at Grace Tabernacle with Pastor Roy Elton Brackens.
Okay.
And I really didn't want to be in ministry, but I kept having these dreams and kept having all this stuff going on, and it was God tugging at me, and I kept running the opposite way.
Wow. Ooh, I relate with you. I did the same thing.
Wow. But he put a hook in me and
he just reeled you back in, didn't he?
Yes, and so it's been rewarding, but it's been tedious.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why you end up writing all these books, huh?
Yes.
Unconditional Love, Caring When No One Cares is one of her books. You all need to go to Amazon. And the other one is 30 Days of Forgiveness. Now, I know this had to be a tough book to do.
Yes.
Because in the ministry, you have a lot of people that can really irritate you, that can really make you want to go off on them, and we have to go and ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
Oh my God, that word I tell you is something else.
I'm telling you.
And people always want you to forgive, right?
Right.
But they don't want to forgive.
Right.
Okay, so Miss Vandra here, this book called Unconditional Love, Caring When No One Cares. You said in this book, as a battle with whether or not caring was a blessing or a curse. I realize it's a gift. Not everyone has the grace to do it, but from the time I was a young girl, I have been a caregiver. Wow. So let's talk about this, because a caregiver is awesome, but it's a hard job.
It's a hard job. It is.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So who were the caregivers? What made you write this? What inspired you to write this book?
I'm still a caregiver today.
Okay.
I still take care of my mom and my husband when he bouts with sickle cell. But when I was going through my ministry class, we had to do a 12-week course, adults dealing with childhood dysfunctions. And I learned that I was a caregiver as a kid because my daddy was an alcoholic. And so in the process, they teach you that when your parents have an addiction, you either become like their caregiver trying to protect them, or you become angry and resent them. Wow. Well, I was a daddy's baby, and I can remember just going through the class that I tried to protect my dad from people talking about him, or even from my mama when she would be mad at him. And so that was my first part of caregiving. My second one was my son. At 9 months old, he was diagnosed with asthma. That was the first time I'd ever heard of asthma. He had asthma up until he was 14. He was in and out of the hospital all his childhood life. His lungs collapsed twice. it was like a scary time.
Right.
I can
He's
imagine.
now getting ready to be 25, I think. Something like that. But anyway. And then after that, I was previously married to another guy, and I took care of his grandmother. She had the
Wow.
sundown syndrome.
What's the
And
sundown
so
syndrome?
it's a part of Alzheimer's.
Oh,
And
okay,
so when the
okay.
sun goes down, their mind starts to flip. And so she would do things
Oh.
at night that she didn't realize she was doing until the next morning.
I've never
And
heard
so
of that. Yeah.
I ended up taking care of her. Even after I divorced my first husband, she was like still my grandmother.
Family.
Right.
So I took care of her until she passed away. And at her, I did her eulogy for her funeral. And our the sermon was Ruth and Naomi.
Wow.
And then after that, it was my mom. She was diagnosed with lymphoma, 4-stage lymphoma cancer. And at that time, my daughter was pregnant. So by the time my daughter had her baby, she ended up getting a mastitis in her breast. And I had never heard of it. But it was infection that literally ate her breast away, and it was like you could see her flesh. So I was taking care of her.
Oh, my
I was taking
God.
care of my mom. And then my husband was, he had sickle cell. And then my son was going through some stuff. So I had all of them at one time. And then my mom, she lived with us for 2 years because she had lymphoma cancer, kidney cancer, and lung cancer. And then once she got strong enough to go back home, which was 2 years later, she did. But I...
So wait a minute. So she's still living? Or?
Yes, ma'am. She's
With all
still-
of those cancers, you know God is
Yes,
good,
he
isn't
is
he?
so good. Yes, and I'm
Gosh.
still her caregiver now.
Wow.
And then I took care of my aunt, which she just passed in October, and that's the hand that I'm holding is my aunt's hand.
Oh, okay.
But I took care of her. She didn't have any children, and so I took care of her until she died. And then, like I said, I still take care of my mom and my husband. He battles sickle cell off and on. So when he has a crisis, I take care of him. So this all I know.
It's caregiver. So how do you deal with all of, emotional, because it has to affect you with
It's
your
hard.
mom
this
and
is
all of
what's-
this.
This is what birthed this too.
Okay, the 30 day of forgiveness came from
Yes,
all
from
the
having to be a
caregiver.
because you have people that you can't depend on.
Oh, yeah.
And you have people that say, I'll help you, I'll be there. You
Oh,
have
call
family
me,
that
girl.
won't-
I'm there for you. I got your back. And then when you call, they
Yes.
look at the caller there and say, oh, no, don't answer.
Yeah.
That's Vandra
Because she
calling
wants
me.
something.
Oh, she wants you. Oh, girl, she
Yeah.
probably want me to stay
Yeah,
with
she
her
want
mom.
me to stay with her mama
I've
now.
been there, girl. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Right.
I
and
know.
even some family members that wants to
Oh,
go to
don't
the
even
plate.
bring those up.
And so I end up being angry, like real mad.
Yeah.
And I had to really self-check because I realized that I was bringing harm to myself, holding on to all that bitterness.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot about forgiveness with my first marriage. Listen,
She said that first marriage, huh?
and I had to forgive that joke in order to move on. Him and all his women. Y'all will catch that later. But anyway, I had to learn how to do forgiveness with that, with family, with people that have hurt me in general. And I realized that it wasn't about them. It was solely about me.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's still a process for me today.
Okay.
You know, when I get in that space, I have to say, Lord, create in me a clean heart, renewing me a right spirit. God, help me. Because I don't want to carry this. But I am mad. And that's one thing I tell you, you have to be honest with God.
Thank
because
you.
He already
Yes,
knows.
He
like
already
I'm just
know.
saying,
Yes,
you know,
He
I'm
does.
blessed and highly favored. I'm never mad. Quit lying.
Oh, but you don't have no troubles, Vandra. You don't go through things.
Yeah, that's what
you
they
are a
think.
minister.
She
Right.
just said she blessed and highly
Right.
favored.
I know it, but that's how they look
But
at
that's
it.
how- yeah.
You are a
And
minister.
I'm
You
just
don't
like,
have feelings.
No, I have feelings. And I tell people all the time, I was born and raised on the south side on Market Street.
Oh,
And the south side will come out in a minute. And I try to keep it suppressed.
Brown.
Because it's real.
I can relate to you, honey, because see, I know a girl named Brown. And
But-
she can act a clown sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Because see, you know, I can relate with you because see, I kept my mom, she had diabetes. And you're right, with family, oh girl, there's something else when it comes to that. But the good thing was I was like you. I was a caregiver all my
Right.
life. I took care of my grandmother and all this. But I loved it. I worked at the nursing home. I loved doing all that. But when it comes to your mom, it's a different thing. Especially when
totally
she a
different.
strong black woman. Then
Right.
she ended up getting diabetes and she lost her legs and all of this. But I brought her back, you know. And then
Right.
you have all this here of, well, you know this about. wait a minute, y'all can help me financially or something. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just my whole thing is, I'm not asking you to be me. I'm not.
Right.
But could you say, sister, I'm gonna give you a break?
Right.
Because I know you tired.
Right.
Right.
What you need me to do? I'm gonna go ahead and come sit with mama. Or I'm
Just
gonna
an
go ahead.
hour or two. Can they do that? Well, I guess if they couldn't pray with Jesus for an hour before they went to sleep, come on.
Right.
So we.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Really on back in now.
Woo! I hear you, girl. I hear you.
Flashback. So how old were you when you were married to your first husband?
I was married to my first husband. I got married at 25, I think.
Approximately. And then how many years later were you divorced?
So we dated for 5 years and we were married for 14.
And you still wanted to take care of your mother-in-law.
Yes, because
That's
you know what? It was such a big thing because he was the only child. His mother was the only child, but his mother was deceased. So his grandmother didn't have any, her daughter was deceased. And we had such a great bond.
Yeah.
And she was more like my grandmother. And so when I started
can
dating
understand that. Yeah.
my husband now, she was still living. And I told him, I said, I'm going to put this out there. If you got a problem with me taking care of Granny, then keep it moving.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't do the by Felicia, did you?
Keep it moving, Papa. Because she not going nowhere.
Oh,
That is awesome.
And he literally helped me with her.
Oh, he is an awesome
Until
husband.
yes, to my husband now
Oh,
until she
wow.
passed away.
Wow.
Well, is
And
your
it was
ex-husband
ex-husband.
still here? Okay, so he didn't have a problem with you going over there?
He wasn't going.
Oh, wow. I love you already, girl. I love this realness. I love because you find so many ministers that are not
baby.
real.
And that's why we can't get nobody in the church. Okay.
Oh,
so,
give me
anyway.
double five. Give me double
Okay.
five. Give me double
Okay.
five. You're
Okay.
right. And
Okay.
you're so right because they want to see realness. And I love your realness because of the fact that we as ministers, we go through a lot, but we want to do this here. Cover it up.
And then we want to judge everybody because, you did this, you did that. I tell people all the time, I had kids out of wedlock. I enjoyed making them out of wedlock. Was it right? Absolutely
Was
not.
it good, girl?
It was good, honey.
That sin was good, wasn't it?
Ruben and Keith Sweat kept me in trouble, honey, child. But anyway. But I don't have room to point the finger at nobody else. I mean,
Because you got three coming back at you.
Do you hear me?
Come on now.
Okay, now.
That is awesome,
Come on to
Vandra.
this table now.
But the thing that, with the unconditional love, that means we go past.
We go beyond
We
the
go
call
way
of duty.
beyond.
Right.
Because
right.
it's a heart thing. And I tell people,
Yes, it is.
people that really give care, they have to have a heart for this.
Thank you.
Because
You're
I was
welcome.
just sitting up there saying that I was telling my cousin, when I call on people to help me, they said, okay, I'm going to do it. The next thing you know, my mama calling, I'm hungry. Did nobody come? No. So I got to stop, drop, and roll out.
And go get
And go
something.
do it,
Right.
regardless of what I have going on.
Right.
Your
And
life is on hold. Yeah.
So,
Do you work a full-time job as well? Or
yes, I'm at the
Wait a
salon.
minute, you have a
Tuesday-
full-time job.
I'm at the salon Tuesday through Saturday.
And then you have all this other. And then you have your ministry as well.
Right.
And you still look good.
Yes, you do.
Hey!
She still look good. I
Thank
tell
you.
you still look good.
It's
But see,
God,
people
honey.
don't know your story until you
Right,
tell
and
your
they
story.
don't know, and I tell people all the time, I'm not a closed book. I mean, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you because I believe that if we share our story, other people can be delivered
That's
and
right.
helped.
Right, right.
And I was telling Lady Kimberly in the restaurant that I actually have I had a book that I wrote the very first time. It was called These Are Not the Same Tears. And I talk about depression.
I looked for that
divorce.
book on Amazon.
And so what they did, they're
Okay.
redoing it.
Okay.
So the publishing company that started
Okay.
this book, they're redoing it. And I
Okay.
was telling her that I was hoping that it was already out.
Okay.
But it won't go into press until next week. So it should be on Amazon next month sometime.
Okay.
But it was about my first marriage. It was about divorce. I mean, depression, divorce, deliverance, and then life after divorce.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And I wrote that book because I journaled a lot with my first husband because I didn't have people to talk to.
Okay. Why you didn't have
Because-
people to talk to?
Because when I was going through, I kept putting up with things.
Are you
and
the
you
only
know how
child?
you felt like No.
And you didn't have no family people you could talk to?
No. So anyway, I would write.
She said, I'm not even going there.
Right. I would write because I didn't want to be judged.
Okay.
I felt like I said for better or for worse, and I wanted to make it work. Now, my dad was my best friend.
Okay.
But he passed away. So I felt like I was literally by myself. So I journaled a lot.
Okay.
And in the end, God said, he just kept telling me, he kept ministering to me about this book, and I kept saying, I'm tripping. God ain't telling me to write no book. But he told me to go get all of my journals. And I had so many journals, and I started going through them, and that's how I birthed that book. Okay. These are not the same tears.
Girl, it's just like I'm listening to me talking through you.
Well, yeah.
Because I have journals.
Yes.
I have journals from 1993, I think I started writing my journal. Because I was like you.
Right.
I lived a falsified life. A life for everybody else.
Yes.
And I put myself on the back burner because I didn't want nobody to know I had trials and tribulations. I was the perfect little girl. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't want nobody to know the struggle. So I journal.
Right.
Because see, Mom was my best friend. And when she left me, I still journal today.
Right.
I still, because there's certain things that you just put in that journal that you can actually talk, because the journal not going to talk back to you.
Right.
You can tell everything. I told my husband, I said, look, don't go in there and try to read any of my journal because you're going to get your feelings hurt. I done talked about you bad in those journals. I done called you every name. Because I was a cursor, and when he would make me mad, all them freckles would come out. So all them freckles was a curse word, you know. So I hid my journals, and I told him, if you go in that closet and you pull them out, don't read them.
You're gonna hurt yourself.
You know, and I told my sisters the same thing. I done called y'all all kind of whatchamacallit.
Okay.
But I realized one day I was working. And I almost went through a nervous breakdown. That's the reason why I'm listening to you talk.
Right.
I'm thinking, dang, is this girl me or what?
Right.
I almost went through a nervous breakdown because I was living a life, and God had given me this ministry called Women of Vision.
Okay.
And I said, Lord, I don't even like women.
Right.
Because they gave me so much hell.
Right.
Stupid stuff.
Right.
And I said, now why would you give me a ministry? He said, because I want you to deal with women. That's how you're going to be delivered.
Yes.
I don't like women. And he said, no, you're going to start this thing. But through that, I falsified. I had to be the person that put on the, like Mary Kay makeup. You cover up everything. I had to do that and walk this walk and make everybody think. But I was dying on the inside. Right. You see what I'm saying? So you're just really helping me tonight because of the fact that I'm thinking, hey, I'm the only one. Then you talked about the journals. But the journals is what's going, because I know one day I'm going to write a book.
Yes.
For what this is and everything. So all of this here came from you being a caregiver all your life. Well, how do you spend your time? You got to have some time. Because I had to have some time
with you.
by myself. No, not even with the hub. I'm talking about just you need some time. Yeah.
Okay,
you
so
need some time for you, Vandra. How do you do that?
Now I'm getting that.
Okay.
Because my husband's a truck driver. And so he's been on
you
the
don't
road
go with
a
him?
lot. Because he works for a company, so that the insurance doesn't pay for you to ride.
Okay.
But now my daughter just got her own place, and so now it's like an empty house. Praise the Lord. And so now I've been having that quiet time.
So nobody's in your house?
Nobody.
Woo, hallelujah.
The dog. And when he starts barking, he goes outside. But now it's such a peace, and it's like, honestly, I really don't even know what to do with myself because I've never had it.
That peace, I know that's right.
I've never had it. Like, I've always lived with somebody's always lived with me.
Right.
That's what I was telling my cousin today. I've housed people that wasn't even my kids, wasn't even my relatives, wasn't even nothing. And let them come in, and that's another thing I had to learn about, because you will take care of people and see about them. And as soon as they get on their darn feet, they done forgot about you.
They don't know you.
They don't know you.
They don't know you. You done sacrificed all your life. That's just like my little niece I kept. Kept her for 15 years. That little heifer don't even call me.
See, I already know.
She don't acknowledge me. You know what I'm saying?
I already know.
But I gave her 15 years of my life for her.
Right.
And she can't even, acknowledge me. But you know what? I thank God that I'm not brown anymore.
Right.
I thank God for forgiveness.
Yes.
Because, see, one day they're going to come back.
Oh, baby.
They're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? So you have all this peace now. But still, don't you still have that inkling that you still want to go and do something? Do you have that sometimes?
And I want, like I was telling my cousin, I'm gonna be traveling a lot because I have a lot of ministry responsibilities coming up that's out of town. And I'm glad because I don't get to enjoy my life. You know, I don't get to do anything.
Yes.
And you know, me and my husband now, we'll be married 8 years next month. And 8 is a number of new beginnings. And I told him, I said, this is a new beginning for us.
Right.
Because he's had to share me with everybody.
Wow.
And he's a good, what's your husband's name?
His name is Michael.
We're going to send our hat out to you, Michael, for doing that. Yes. That's awesome that you have a man that will support you like that.
Yes, and it's so good because, you know, we never know the plans that God has for us.
I hear you.
And sometimes we think that, well, I'm going to say me. I thought that me divorcing my first husband was going to be so detrimental. Girl, I'm so free. Honey, listen.
Wait a minute, is he in the 30-day book of forgive, the 30 days of forgiveness?
Baby, he's somewhere.
He's somewhere.
Listen.
We have to learn how to forgive, though. Woo, Lord, is it hard, girl?
Listen. I be saying, Lord, I'm forgiving by faith. You said faith is the substance of things hoped for. Because, baby, I ain't seeing none of this right now. I know, right? If I can push them in their face, I will feel real good. But that's what
But you are a minister now.
Baby, listen. I'm so tired of folks acting like they ain't real, baby.
Thank you.
Honey.
Hallelujah. Go speak in tongues.
I love the Lord, okay? But, baby, come for me, I'll beat you down and preach tomorrow. I mean, it's whatever you want to
she sound like Alicia.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go there.
But people always abuse us like that. I put it like that. They try to.
They try to.
Until you let them know you're not going to do that.
I ain't going to punk out now. You can hang that up.
Because you from the South Side?
South Side?
What you say?
Monkey Street
That's
baby.
not too far from here.
It's up the street.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to
And I used to come in here and dance on Blue Monday. Then we used to come to her back.
Girl, you was out here on Blue Monday too. Yeah, I can't even remember the guy that used to be the DJ. He was pretty good too.
I can't remember.
I hate they closed out Blue Mondays.
I can't remember what they was playing either because I was probably drunk and high at the time. But honey, I had a good old time here.
And God is good.
Ain't he good?
And now you look back and you say, "Ooh, that was me," but look at me now.
Okay. And you know what? I don't take nothing from it. Because, see, I can tell somebody something. If you tell me you ain't been through nothing, girl, don't even talk to me. Baby, bye-bye. Go
Bye,
on.
Felicia.
Yeah, because we ain't got nothing to talk about.
That's right. Because this is how deliverance come in. You
right.
see? You got to be real with people. They think
you
you're crazy when you're real.
Right.
But I'd rather talk to a real person than a fake and shame.
Who would have thought on Blue Monday that you would have came in here to record a show about you? Look at God.
Isn't that something? But like I told you, I used to party here, now I'm preaching here. This is what we have our church at here on Sunday morning. I used to party here, have all my birthday parties here, and now we're preaching here.
See what I'm talking about?
See, God will bring you right back to the same place, won't he?
Baby, he'll bring it full circle.
Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
And then he bring you all these people that, I've been around people that they be cussing. I said, "Oh, did I sound like that?" He said, "Yeah, you sound just like that. You know, did I act like that? Yes, you act just like that." But people just don't want to see realness.
They don't want to see
They want the lies. They want everything.
And I ain't got that for you.
I don't have that no more.
I think that's because...
What you have to say, Lindy? Now, Lindy was a character in her day. I have to drink to that one.
I used to stay on Jones Street.
Okay.
Yeah. So we was kind of neighbors.
And San Rafael.
And saying, yeah, don't. Anyway.
That's over on McCarty area, y'all.
I forgot what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I took you back to San.
Yeah, you taking me back to San Rafael. Okay, on the 30 days of forgiveness.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you choose 30 days?
It took a whole month.
Right. A whole month. And some. Because you know what? Each day, when I started going through the process of trying to forgive, each day I woke up and I asked God certain things. And by the time I got through it, it was like 20-something things that I had asked him. And I said, 20 is too short, so Lord, give me some more. So it ended up being 30. Okay. Yeah. Because each day, it's like, it's a saying, you know, you get a scripture.
Okay.
And then you talk about it, but then you have to work. You have to write out what it's as. So it's like a workbook too. Because when you have to write things out, you have to really
Because it said write the vision, make it plain.
and
Okay.
that's a real release, because we sometimes read books and it, we just read them and it is what it is. But when you have to literally write some
it
stuff out, you're having to release some things,
Oh,
and you have
that's
to really,
good.
really be
Oh.
honest
That
with
is
certain
good,
things.
yeah.
Right.
That is awesome. We're going to take a quick commercial break right quick. If you're looking for a church where you can be real, that you can come in and feel the love, joy, I'm going to only tell you about one. And that's going to be the Church Within International Ministry, where I am co-pastor along with my husband, Pastor Glenn Kirkwood. We're worshiping in the American Legion Hall, 1250 Mansfield Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas. We're the church that look with the spiritual eye and not the carnal eye. Our services at 10 a.m., Sunday school, and morning worship is 11:15.
Right.
And we do not do CP time. We start on time.
time.
So come and check us out Sunday morning, 10 a.m. and 11:15. All right, back to you. Okay, let's talk about day one.
Okay.
Okay, we can't fix what we refuse to. Okay, you said day one. I sought the Lord; He answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. So you said we can't fix what we refuse to face. What do you mean by that?
If you're not gonna be honest with yourself about what you're dealing with, God is not gonna fix it. I can't sit up here and say, Lord, I'm just not feeling well today, and then say, Lord, can you fix it? No, Lord, I'm pissed off today.
There you
And
go.
I need
That's
you to
I'm
come and help
talking.
me, because somebody gonna catch these hands. Like, we have
You
to
gonna
be
lay some
real.
hands on them, huh?
Yes, and there ain't gonna be no
I love it.
hands.
I love it. I love it. I
Oh,
love it.
I know exactly, because I became angry. And I just told him, I said, I'm mad at you.
Right.
Because you had me
And you
do all
should.
this
And
stuff.
Yes.
God knows that. I tell people all the time. I mean, people say I can't be mad at God, and you're lying. You're lying. Like, I got mad because I'm just like, God, you gave my mama cancer, and God said, why not your mama? Like, who is your mama?
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to come back to myself, but I was mad because I felt like every time I turn around, I'm thinking I'm getting ready to live my life, something else happens, and I
Right.
get pushed back into doing all of this.
Right,
So
right.
we get to that place, but that's where He can fix you when you're honest.
That's
But
right.
But you hear some people say, oh, you're not supposed to be saying that to God because,
But He already
He's
knows.
an angry
Where's
God.
it here?
He already
He
knows
does
us.
already know.
And He already know what you gonna say before
That's
you
right.
say it.
Right.
That's why I think God is God and I'm not God. Because if I know you're gonna wake up and you're not gonna praise me, you're not gonna do that, I'm not waking you up.
Yes.
You're not getting up.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yes. That's right.
She's not gonna wake you up if I'm God.
She said, I'm not going to wake you up. You praise me this day.
Right.
But this is the thing that I love about you. You are so real. And a lot of time, like you said, if we're not honest with ourselves, we'll live in a falsified life.
Right.
And that was a song out. I don't know if y'all remember. It was a song I called Where I'm Living a Lie. I can't think of the name of the artist, but she was talking about how she was living this lie. It's a song out there. And I listened to that song one time and I was like, man, that's how it hit me.
Right.
I got to get out of this here and be real.
Right.
Because I realized that when I'm real with somebody, they can get delivered because they'll say,
Right.
you are co-pastor and you are like that. Yeah.
Right.
Because I don't want to be a falsified pastor. I want to be a pastor that can relate to everybody. And I
Right.
guess that's the reason why our church is not really full like we want, because a lot of people don't want to hear the truth.
They don't want to hear the truth.
They don't want to hear the
And-
truth, and they're going to get the truth here because
Right.
we want people to hear the truth. And that's what I'm saying. When you are
Right.
talking about this and you are a minister, you're going to be able to capture a lot
Draw
of people's
people in.
attention
Right.
because a lot of people put us on a pedestal. I don't want to be on your pedestal
Right.
because I'm going to fall off the
Right. And
pedestal.
when I fall off, you gonna laugh.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh.
gonna make me mad.
Or just,
then what?
Or they waiting on you
The fall.
Right.
And some of them plant
Right.
that
Some are
seed
really-
for you to fall.
Right.
They
Right.
want you to act
They
up.
want
Right.
this.
So you said day 2. We're not going to go through all of it, but I want to hit them. You said day 2, let go and let God. Casting all your cares upon him, for he cared for you. This is a Christian-based talk show, so we have the right to talk about scriptures, okay? Now, let go and let God. I like that one. So what are you saying on let go and let God?
So many things I've tried to control.
Uh-oh.
that's
You tried to control
I
it?
tried to control it.
Don't you know you can't do that sometimes?
Listen,
Ooh, yeah.
honey.
She about
I
to
try
shout
to
up in
control
here.
them grown children.
Yes.
Lord, try to control situations, and and what I realize is it's not my battle to keep.
Yes,
if I don't
that's
give it to
right.
God, it's not going to work out. And
That's
every
right.
time I get in God's way, I stop him from working.
Right.
So I have to and sometimes I be saying, God, you taking too long. I'm just trying to help you, man. Like,
How you gonna help God?
right.
Come on.
But I just want to help. I know he busy.
He's too busy. So you gonna go and help him.
He
Then
got the
what
whole world in
happens?
his
Then she
hands.
gonna help him.
He taking too
But then
long.
you gonna mess it
And
up.
I'm messing it, it gets in worse shape by the time, Yeah.
Well, did he say, okay, sis, you want to do all this?
I'm
Yeah,
a
he
bad
said,
back.
I'ma step
He
aside.
step back and do
And you can
this.
tell
Yeah,
when he
I'ma
step
step aside.
Yes.
And then what happened when that happened?
Oh, honey, everything fall apart, huh? It was holding together halfway, and by the time I put my hand on it, it fell all the way apart.
And then you gotta start
Then I
all
gotta
over
start all
again.
over
You
saying,
see?
Lord, I'm sorry.
Okay, you said don't overthink it. Be sober, be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walking about seeking whom he may devour. Don't overthink it.
Because sometimes we'll put too much into a situation, and it ain't even that. It ain't even like that.
It's not that serious.
It'll end up being something totally different. But we let the enemy talk us into something, a small little thing. Like I tell people all the time, I used to get mad at my ex-husband about the toilet seat. Like we done had a whole falling out
Over
about
a
this
toilet seat.
and it was something so simple because I done overthought it. Now, what if I would have got up and just went and sat on the toilet and fell in the
fell
water?
in.
But that didn't happen. So why am I talking about it? I done overthought that thing, and then we done got into a big old argument.
Right.
I done let the enemy come in.
And then he laughing at you. I got you, Vandra.
Yeah,
I got you.
because you just so simple.
And if
yeah.
you fell in, couldn't we just get up and wipe the water off anyway?
Right.
Or just sit in the toilet and let the water hit it.
Or just take a shower.
Just
Take a shower. And walk
I
out.
understand it because I used to get upset with my husband. Especially I walk in there and I'm half asleep and then bam, I done hit it to the toilet.
Yes.
One day I just sat in there and I went to cussing. I made up all kind of cuss words. And then he go, baby, you all right? Hell no, I ain't all right. You done left the blank toilet seat up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then those freckles just come out because he's freckle faced and I'll be like, oh. And then he said, it's going to be all right. Don't tell me it's
don't
going to be
tell
all
me it's gonna
right.
be all
I'm in
right.
the toilet.
Yes.
I could have
In
flushed
this
myself
toilet
down.
water.
He said, baby, you too big to go down. Ah!
That's
So
a
I
whole
get
nother
that.
fight. That's a whole nother fight.
That's a whole nother thing. Okay, day 6, you said a hard heart. What does that mean? A hard heart. And when ye stand praying, forgive. If you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. A hard heart. We shouldn't have a hard heart.
But baby,
You are a minister.
honey, that sucker was hard as a tape.
Whoa, it was that hard. You know, the Bible says it's a nasty thing.
I know, and it was real nasty.
It wasn't real.
Was it real nasty,
It was
girl?
nasty and stinking.
Well, you can relate to the toilet.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
my issue about the toilet was the toilet paper because I like it over. My
And not
ex-husband like it under, and we had issues.
Okay, we're gonna have to have a talk show on what have men done to make us upset through these years, okay? That's, we're gonna have you back. We're gonna talk about the men show.
Baby, because honey, that's a whole show.
That's 2 hours.
Okay, I like this one. Judge now, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. Those caught and those covered.
So I tell people all the time, it's the caught and the uncaught.
Okay.
When my daughter, she got pregnant, she was scared to tell me. And when she finally told me, she was a little ashamed because she wasn't married. She was young. I said, but let me tell you something. It's only 2 type of people in this whole entire world. The caught and the uncaught. Just because they
We
ain't
just
been
didn't get caught.
don't mean they ain't been screwing.
That's
okay?
right. There you go.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And so we can't judge nobody.
That's
That's
right.
it.
We have to sympathize.
Right.
We all
Because we
have
don't
sinned.
know. I mean, I didn't sell the dope, but I was rolling around with a blunt. Like, I could have
Okay.
went to jail.
Right.
Yeah, you could have got
I
caught.
could have got caught, but I
Right.
didn't.
Right.
And so we have to be careful how we point the finger at somebody just because you haven't walked, just because you haven't been called, because we've all done something.
Yes.
And
Right.
thank
Yes.
God for his grace and his
Yes.
covering and his
Yes.
mercy.
Yes.
Yes.
And so that's my whole thing with that. We have to be so mindful and so careful, because just because we ain't been called don't mean we
haven't done
it.
anything,
That's
you know.
it.
Okay, you said this one here, expecting perfection. So when they continue asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her. Expecting perfection. We don't sin though, do we?
That's what they say. Oh, I don't do this and I don't do this. Yeah, you showed. I don't drink and I don't smoke and I don't commit adultery and I don't fornicate. Yeah, and you don't forgive. You don't tell the truth.
True.
You're
Yeah.
a back. Okay, yeah. So it's a lot of
You
stuff that you
gossip.
yeah, honey. Go somewhere and sit down. You a judger. You always trying to judge somebody because you think you got it all together. So it is some stuff that you probably don't do that, but you do that.
Yeah.
Good.
We all have some skeletons
got
in our
something.
closet. And some people just don't want to talk about it because of their image. But they don't realize is you're helping somebody else get saved because of the
Right.
fact that, hey, if
Yes.
you experienced it and God helped you to get out of
Right.
it,
Yeah, oh, that's
then I'm no
good.
longer
That's
the
good.
same.
I'm no longer the
Yes.
same.
I'm
And
not
why
like
not
that.
share it?
Right.
Because when I went through it, it wasn't for me to go through no way.
Right.
It was for me to share.
Right.
Right.
I tell people,
Your
you're
story.
looking at a walking miracle every day.
Yes.
We're all walking
A
miracles.
miracle, right.
And some people don't want to hear what the Bible says. They want to know what the Bible has really done through your life.
Right. And everybody
That's
in the
good.
Bible
That's good.
has sinned.
Right.
Okay,
The
except
ones
for
that Jesus
Jesus.
was rolling
And you
with,
know,
they was
there you go.
heathens.
And
They was
then-
from the south side.
That's right. So you know what I'm saying? And I was just reading Galatians last night in chapter 1 where he talked about the testimony of Paul, you know,
Right.
and how he
Yes.
did it.
Yeah,
a lot
he
of
was
people
doing
didn't want
all
to have
that
nothing to do
stuff.
with
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
because when he was Saul, how he persecuted
Right, how he
the
persecuted
Christians
everybody.
and
So they was
everything.
scared. They thought he was still
But his
crazy.
testimony now.
Right.
Yes.
You see, it's his testimony. And I was thinking about that. I said, you know what, God, you're right. It's through our testimony that somebody could get saved when they say that.
Someone
Look
will
at this
get
girl.
saved.
Now she has a talk show, a Christian talk show that I didn't even have enough sense.
Right.
God had to say, look, I need you to do a real talk show.
Yes.
I don't want you faking and shaking.
Right.
I want you to bring people on the show that's going to help get somebody
Right.
saved.
That's
Right.
good.
And if they
That's
see that
good.
you've been
That's good.
saved through the blood of
Right.
Jesus, that you no longer do these things, you know, and you're not hoeing, you're not out there. See, when we hoed in the country, we planted peas and everything. You know, we had to get out there and do the hoeing in the country. We planted.
Right.
The peas, you know, y'all don't know what that little hole did. That thing was, we had to sharpen that hole and we had to make sure that it made a straight line to plant the peas. See, we planted the peas. We had to do the sweep. I mean, my husband always said, you weren't no country girl. Baby, I picked peas. And it took a lot of work to hold those peas
Right.
and everything.
Right.
But then I found out another thing. That was another hoe over there that was doing everything. You know what I'm saying? So we all have been through something. You see? But we got to realize that somebody is seeing us.
Right.
And you know, and we got to be able to say, hey, all have sinned. And if it said,
Sure.
for all have sinned and it comes short of the glory of God. But thank God for Jesus.
Yes.
Because if he,
Baby.
I would be hell bound.
Honey.
You see, so we all have to realize, you know, I thought about even when I went to college, I didn't know all these words, but I was a good cursor. But I would do it behind my mom back because she would beat us, you know.
Yeah.
But I heard the B word and the W word and all this, and I used to think the B word sounded so good.
Yeah.
And I accidentally slipped one morning, and my mom heard me. She said, baby, let me share something with you. Go get you a dictionary, look it up. And when I read what that was,
Right.
a female dog that let anybody do, even her sons or whoever, mama said, now, are you that? I said, no. But when you're ignorant and don't know these things,
Just doing what somebody
you
else
just doing
doing.
what somebody else is saying and doing. And then you look at it and you say, ooh,
Right.
I'm not like that. So
Right.
don't call me
So
that
don't
word.
call me
And I
that.
can't stand with a man call a woman that word.
Yeah.
But you with the woman.
Yeah.
That's another
Well, they're a
talk show.
dog, so you catch that later. Yeah.
Who let the dogs out? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
well.
you said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Do we want to see God? Do we really want to see
Do we
him?
really want to see him?
That's a good question.
We have to ask ourselves that, because if you living any kind of way, you don't want to see him.
Right.
If you're holding on to unforgiveness, how we gonna see his face? And we've never seen him, but we say we love him, but then I can't forgive
But
you
we
and
don't want
love
to go
you.
by his rules in the Bible.
Do you hear me? We don't want to do nothing he said.
Yeah, rip the page out.
Yeah, yeah. That's
No,
that
we use the
that wasn't
Bible for things that we want
That we
justification.
want, right.
Yeah.
And then we
Or we'll
wanna
go get
twist
that
the
scripture and say,
words.
you know, this scripture said
Yes.
this, but what did this scripture say?
right.
It said
You
browbeating.
know. Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to browbeat someone.
Mhm.
Right.
Sure do.
So, you know, and God is a God that will forgive us.
Yes.
And you know, he sees everything. He knows
He knows
everything.
everything.
So why we want to hide from him? We can't hide
We
from
can't
him.
hide. I know one time it was a trip because I was just thinking. That's when I was at the horn and stuff. I wasn't doing the pee hole.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
you
one.
doing
Yeah, I was
the
doing the other. But anyway.
Like Santa Claus, ho, ho, ho.
yeah.
I'm with you,
Yeah.
sister.
But I was thinking, if he's seeing me, like, is he sitting there watching me do it? Like,
Uh-huh. He watching all of us do it.
you know, it didn't stop me at first.
Oh,
But then
when
I
you get into
started
the
thinking
word-
about it. I was like,
Right.
he's everywhere. So
He's
he's
seeing
seeing
us
me
do
when I'm
it.
doing wrong.
Yes.
He's like right there. Like, so why do you keep doing it if you know he's like right there, like right
That's
there?
when you.
in you.
That's
Like,
when
right
you know
here.
you getting changed.
Yes.
Because you start watching
And
what
then
you're
you
doing.
start feeling convicted.
Convicted.
And you start feeling bad,
Bad
and just
about
like,
it.
oh my God. 'Cause
I don't want to
done-
do this anymore.
After I done said something slick to somebody, like, they be coming for me, and I get them. And then on the way home, I'll be like, no, Shanice, Lord, I'm so sorry. But the old Vandra, I wouldn't have cared what I told her. Cuss you out in a fight, come with what?
That's right. Girl, you sound, oh, Lord, it's like I'm talking to myself. Okay. Then you said the thief cometh not but to steal and kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Thank God for Jesus. So you said unfair crime. Would you invite a thief into your home? Would you allow a killer to take the life of your husband, wife, child, or friend? Would you befriend someone who destroyed your property? Wow, that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something to think about. Because the enemy wants to what? Steal
He
our
wants to
peace,
do all of that.
kill our hope, and destroy our reputation and relationship with us. Now, that is so true.
Yep.
Because anytime you are walking in your vocation, the enemy always wants to
Always.
destroy. And that's really why we have to be like, what is that Yolanda Adams say? He kept me.
He kept
Yeah.
me, yes, honey.
Oh, he kept me. Because there were some things, like you said, you want to just go after them and then,
Yes.
oh, you have to be quiet because, see, people are not forgiving, as they say. If you mess
they
up
not.
as a
They gonna
minister,
remember all of that. They ain't gonna remember the good that you do.
oh, no.
That's
no.
exact. That's like wiped all
You
the way
are a
out.
minister. If you mess up, they're going to throw it out. But then sometimes, I don't understand it. You can mess up and people still follow you and they know you messing up. They know you wrong. They know you doing this and they still follow those people.
Because a lot of times I follow them because they're doing what I'm doing. And so they ain't got to correct me because
They
they
can't
doing what I'm
correct
doing.
you,
They can't
really?
correct me. So I'm going to still be
That's a good
comfortable
one.
in what I'm
That's a
doing
good one.
because they doing it. That's why they
That's a good
follow.
one.
So you
That's
can't
a
you
good
can't tell me when you doing it because I'm gonna throw it back up in your face.
Right.
So that's
if
really
you
why we
comfortable
have a
doing
lot
it,
of them.
I'm going to follow you because that's what I'm doing too.
Yep,
That's right.
Good.
Right.
That's right.
good, man.
And that's really why it's
I
like
hadn't thought about it
blackmail,
like that.
even in the pulpit, blackmail in the audience. But they don't realize that spirit that's in the pulpit can also fall on your
Yeah.
The
congregation.
whole
It
thing, I
does.
tell
It
people
does.
all the time, you better know who your leader is.
That's right.
Because the word of God said King Uzziah set up
Yes, he did.
and the glory fell down.
Right.
He did. He
Right.
did.
And wherever your pastor is or your leader, whatever they got going on, and none of us are perfect.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you and your husband was committing adultery and
That's right.
fighting each other, that spirit gonna fall on your congregation.
Congregation.
Right.
And then people gonna wonder why their marriages or their household is messed up because that spirit has dwelt in them and they probably wouldn't even go in that route.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
You have to be careful who your leader is. Just because they got a big name and they got all this, you better know that you know that you know.
What's
Right.
know them that labor among you.
That's right. And you know, that was one of the things that when God called us into the pastoral, I asked the Lord, I said, Lord, you know my heart.
Yes.
You know me. Take all of this out of me because
Yes.
I want to be real
Right.
when I stand before the people.
Right.
And that's my goal is, and my husband, he gets on me just like you get on everybody else.
Right.
But he has a heart for God. And
And
that's
that's what
when
we
I
need
can
in this
respect him.
season.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need that in this season like
Yes.
never before.
Yes.
You're right.
Yes.
Because it's so much going on,
On.
and it's sad that it's more people out there than in here. And I tell people all the time,
Mm-hmm.
people can go down on Lancaster and hang out with the folks that is homeless and the winos. They gonna share their blanket.
Yep.
They gonna share
Oh,
their
yeah.
food.
I go through
They
that
gonna
all
share
the
their
time.
everything.
They gonna share
But you
everything.
come in church, they can't speak to you. They too cute. They got their church clothes on. They get on my freaking nerve. You are a whitewashed tomb. You dressed all up, but what is inside of you? You is
That's
defiled
right.
and decayed. You are a hot mess. Go sit down and get saved.
That's right.
Right.
Because you should be able to feel comfortable
Yes.
in the church. You shouldn't be looked down on every time you turn
right.
around.
Just because I
you
ain't
know.
got no hat and stockings and flowers and
Not the head and stockings.
don't judge me because I came here without no stockings on.
Right.
Because I'm coming to get help.
I need
And if
help.
you run me off because I'm not dressed up like you and you got on all these clothes because you're really trying to cover up something. Anyway, listen.
Well, you know, have you heard the thing where the pastor came in and he was dressed like a homeless
Yes,
person? You
and
heard
they
that?
kept rejecting him, and when they found out that he
and
was
then
the
when
pastor.
he found out that he was the pastor,
Right.
and then they were like,
Yes.
Really?
We gotta be careful.
Careful who we
entertain.
that's right.
The word of God says you never know.
No.
You may be entertaining an angel.
That's right.
Right.
And that's the
Right.
thing, you know. I don't tell people that I'm a pastor. I
You
don't
don't have
tell
to
them
because
that.
they can see
They can
it.
see it.
Right.
And you know what? And then when they'll come around, they'll say, it's just something about you. I said, well, what is it?
Right.
Do I stink or what? Tell me
Right.
what it is, you know? But they can see it.
Right.
So when they come in, even on my job, you know, they'll just come and knock on my door
Right.
and say, can you pray for me? You see what I'm saying?
Just
can
your
I
whole
just
demeanor
talk
will
to
say
you?
it.
Right.
God will
And
speak for you. I tell
that's
people
right.
all the time, an unspoken sermon is the best sermon.
Yeah.
If I can look at you and you a sermon, then that's better than you telling me something.
That's
because
right.
what you
I'm a
saying
Christian.
might
I'm
not
a
let-
Christian.
Girl, they get on
You
my
know, I
nerves.
know.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so blessed and highly favored. I cannot stand when
And then
I'm
won't
talking
even
to
speak to
somebody.
you.
Hallelujah, praise the Lord. How you doing? Oh, bless, baby. I just asked you. Just say I'm fine.
That's it. Just say I'm
Just say I'm all right, because you done got on my nerves with all of that.
But you know, I know this has been really good, Vandra. I tell you, you are such an inspiration because a lot of people need to hear that this book of forgiveness, 30 Days of Forgiveness.
How much is it?
I think on Amazon it's like 19.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
what it is,
for the
19.
hard copy.
Yeah.
And I think the paperback, I think it's probably like 15 or something
Yeah.
like that. But I'm actually my plans are because I was telling Minister Elma that I'm actually me and my husband are writing a book on marriage.
Okay.
And it's called Holy Over Matrimony.
Okay.
And this is my second marriage, this is his second marriage. And we're just talking about the things that we've been through and things to encourage couples.
Okay.
Because the divorce rate is so high because people get into a marriage thinking that it's a falsified, glorified relationship.
It's a ministry.
No, it's a ministry.
Yes,
Right.
and you got
And
to
what we
minister
have
to
to
each
know
other.
is we're not just married to each other.
Right.
We're married to God too. He
That's
said a
right.
threefold cord is not easily broken.
broken.
But when you don't keep him in the equation, you're gonna break it.
Oh
you're
yeah, it's
crumble.
oh
And
yeah.
you're gonna have to keep him in the equation. I tell
Right.
people, if you married because she fine or he look good, or you married because they got money, or you married because the sex is good, baby, you is not gonna last.
Cause that's gonna go somewhere.
gonna
Cause I
all
remember
go
when I was
sour.
like this.
Girl, I was so
baby.
fine for fine.
And look
fine,
at me
fine.
now, long, but I'm still good.
We still fine now.
I'm still fine.
I tell them, baby, don't let me put my girl lashes on, baby. I'm stopping all traffic. Girl.
But you know, I know the time is getting close. But my husband, I'll be celebrating 38 years.
Oh, good.
And he's still smiling.
Yes, well, that's all
I
that
wear all
matters.
my wigs for him. I told him, baby,
Right.
when we first met, I said, look, you don't have to go out. I can be any woman you want.
Do you
I'm
hear me?
like the song, I'm every woman. I got wig. Matter of fact, I have a wig conference coming up in April, the 15th, 16th, 17th. But the thing of it is, we had God in our life.
That's what you have to have.
And, and at the age of 40, I almost messed up and tried to divorce him, listening to people and stuff. But God said, no.
yes.
No. And I thank God because, like I said, still kill and destroy. And God knew the work that he had for us. And if I'd allowed that come in, you have to be careful who you go and talk to.
Baby.
You have to be careful who you're around because everybody that's smiling in your face is not for you.
Baby.
And they want
Wait.
you to mess up.
They want you to.
And not only the outside, family people too.
Yes,
When they
ma'am.
see that
They
you
the
are
main
going good
Yeah,
together in
right.
your marriage,
Right.
they will
They
try to
really
come
are.
in and stop. And my mama used to tell me, keep people out of your
That's
business.
your business.
Yes.
Don't tell them your
Don't
business
tell
them.
because everybody that's smiling in your
Everybody
face
ain't
is
happy.
not for you.
Right.
So we'll be married 38 years this year,
that's
and I
good.
thank God for it. We've been in the ministry pastoring 10 years in June.
That's awesome.
And he's still the same from the day I met him. He's still the same man I met. He loved the Lord. And like he told
Yes.
me, if I have to choose between you and God, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
I put on the wig. No, baby.
Yes.
This is Felicia gonna stay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But anyway, I have really enjoyed you
enjoyed
tonight.
y'all too.
I told you that time go by so
I
fast.
know.
And before we close, what would you share to the audience? To the Facebook and to YouTube. Y'all please go in and subscribe to the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma on YouTube. What advice would you tell anyone tonight? What would you leave? What thought would you leave?
First of all, you have to be real with yourself.
Good,
Yes.
good.
Once you're real with yourself, then you'll have more to be real with others.
Yes.
Try to keep your heart pure. I know it's hard, but my scripture every day is, Lord, creating me a clean heart and renewing me a right spirit.
Yes.
And treat people the way that you want to be treated.
Yes.
Even if they don't treat you back the same way, know
You
what
still-
seed you put in the ground
Yes.
is going to reap a good harvest.
Yes.
Don't worry about what they put in the ground.
Yes.
And just be right to people. And because
Yes.
we're representing Christ.
Yes.
And I don't ever want to make him ashamed of me, even though I know sometimes he probably saying, girl, did you really just do that? But at the end of the day, I really
He
want
said, "I
people to
still
see
love
the
you."
God. Yes, I really want
Yes.
people to see the God in me, even, through it all, because we're in a world now where people need to see realness.
Yes.
They need to see love.
And they're crying out for
and
that.
they're crying out for it because
Yeah.
they're not
Right,
getting it. And
right.
if we don't start, if it doesn't start with us, we can't expect it to start with anybody
That's
else.
right.
Right.
And if they can't come to the house of God and get that, then they're going to go back out there
They're
on
gonna
the
go
street.
back out in the street.
And it's going to be worse on them.
Yes.
Okay, so how can they get in touch with you?
Okay,
Do you
so
have
I
a
am on
website?
Facebook.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Instagram a whole lot, but I'm on Instagram. And I don't have a website yet. I'm actually, like I said, I just started a ministry entitled Resilient Caregivers.
Okay.
And I been rolling up on caregivers lately, just blessing them with things. And so I'm getting ready to get that off of the ground as well.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I'm on Facebook a lot, so they can follow me, Vandra Noel, on Facebook.
All right. Okay, and her book is Unconditional Love, Caring When No One Cares. And the other one is 30 Days of Forgiveness, which a lot of us need, is to go ahead and forgive that person. Let it go. Whether they forgive you or not,
Right.
you let it go.
You let it go.
Because forgiveness is giving it away.
Right.
All right.
That's
Thank you,
good.
Vandra, for
Thank you
being
for
on
having
the
me.
show.
I really
We
enjoyed
love
it.
you. And
love y'all
remember,
too.
the Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma is a Christian-based talk show. We welcome your comments. We welcome you. If you want to be on the show, you can message me on Facebook, and I will love it. If you're brave enough to come on this show, we will love to have you. I thank my co-host, Kimberly, my co-host, Linda, and our special guest tonight, Vandra Noel. May God bless you. Tune in every Monday, 8 p.m., Facebook Live. Please subscribe to Talk of Life Talk Show with Elma on YouTube. May God bless you until I see you again.